Most people in Taiwan are doing everything right, working hard, being responsible, taking care of family, but inside, something still feels off. Not wrong, just not fully alive. And if you ever felt that, this podcast is for you. Taiwanica is restarting. If you've listened before, you'll notice something's different. It's just me now. No co host, no split direction, no different points of view. And this isn't about losing something, it's about getting clear. Because when something actually matters, you stop trying to make it work for everyone and you make it true. Living in Taiwan has a rhythm. Working hard, being stable, respecting structure, taking care of family. And there's a lot of beauty in that, but there's also a lot of pressure. Pressure to succeed at work, pressure to not fall behind, and pressure to show up for everyone. And somewhere in all of that, a lot of people lose connection with themselves. Don't you ever feel like that? That you're pushing more than you're capable of doing in a single day because of the expectations that are around you? This is how life gets when we get wrapped up in the pressures of feeling guilty. And by the way, guilty is a societally made emotion. It's not something that we learned as children. It's something that we were taught. And we didn't learn it in school. We learned it from the pressures from everyone around us. So pressure is just guilt production. And if you're someone who doesn't want to understand this, but actually change it, I'll show you where to go later in this episode. So here's what Taiwanica is now. This is not motivation. This is practical strategy for real life. Things that you can use on your boss, your coworkers, even your family. And let me give you one simple shift. In many Taiwanese workplaces and international businesses, people avoid direct communication. Not because they don't care, but because they want to keep harmony, keep the peace in order. But here's the problem. When you avoid being direct, you also lose influence. So instead of being aggressive or very direct or staying silent and not doing anything at all, use calm clarity. Next time you disagree, try something like this. I understand your point of view on this, and I'd like to suggest another option that might improve the result. You're not creating conflict when you say this. You're adding something. You're adding value. That's one shift. That one shift changes how people see you. Because presence and clarity will always stand out. I remember a time when I was starting to work in a business and we had weekly business meetings to see how things were going with our progress of helping people grow. And we had a lot of different ways of presenting the same content, and we had to all share. And I remember being so nervous the first time because I had to keep up in my mind a presentation that would be comparative to the people that have been there for 5, 10, even 20 years. At least that's what my thoughts were telling me, that I needed to be as good as people who have been there for a long time. And the thing about it is that in reality, it wasn't that big of a deal. When it was my turn, I just told them what I was facing, what were my struggles, and being very honest about how things were going. It felt really uncomfortable for me to share those, but when I did and expressed some vulnerability or just openness, they, instead of being critical, something much better came out of it. And that was constructive feedback. They were supportive. They told me their perspectives of how it went for them when they were starting out. And instead, in the end, feeling embarrassed about sharing my lack of not being good enough, I felt supported. And because of that, I did better the following week. And it kept building up more and more because of just simply being present and clear with what was going on in my life. So here's what you'll get from this show moving forward. With your career, you'll learn how to communicate upward, being able to talk to your boss or one of your superiors with more confidence. You also learn how to stand out, not like with clothes and looking fancy, but more of a way of having authority in a room where before you didn't have any sort of way of sticking out from the rest of the people and kind of blending in. And we'll do all this without breaking trust or respect. This stuff here has been valued and helped thousands of people to be able to start having more of the power that they wish to have in their jobs. Then there's going to be stuff about family and relationships. Because in Taiwan, success isn't just career. It's also how you show up for your family without losing yourself. That's the biggest struggle for most people. They love their family. They want to be there for them. At the same time, sacrifices are being made. Are these sacrifices the one that you want to make, or are you making them because you think it is right? There is a difference. Because if your mind isn't steady, nothing else works. We'll talk about stress, overthinking, emotional control, but not just, simple conversations. We're going to be gaining real tools here that you can apply immediately that don't take much effort at all. Now, the goal here is not to escape your life. It's to become someone who can handle it with clarity, with strength, and with ease. When that happens, work is no longer pressure. Family is no longer obligation. It becomes something you can fully experience. So if you've been listening to this and something in you is saying, it's time, not later, not when things calm down, but now, then I built something for you. It's called Start Now. It's my personal business brand, and it has a private library of personal development tools. Some of them are how to think clearly, how to communicate better, how to handle pressure from work and family, how to actually feel in control of your life. Not ideas, things you can apply immediately in your real life here in Taiwan. And because this podcast is restarting, I opened access for a short period of time for about 450 Taiwanese dollars a month. If you're serious about improving your life, go to startnow.i, as in ice cream, achievetoday.com/well, WELL 18. Explore it, take what you need and start. Most people will hear this and continue exactly as they are. Same thoughts, same patterns, same results. This is very common. Nothing wrong with it, but few people decide differently. This is Taiwanica. This is what we do. We're choosing to make our lives better. Not just about living in Taiwan, but becoming someone who can thrive anywhere. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like, share it with a friend. Help Taiwanica grow so we can make a bigger change here in Taiwan, so we can all move forward and thrive together. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. If you really enjoyed it, then if you can be one of the very few people who can give us a 5-star review and even tell us about what you liked about the podcast, that would be great if you could do that in the place where you're listening. 谢谢大家。如果你真的很喜欢今天的 podcast 的话，请你们给我们5颗星。这个会让更多人越来越了解台湾要给什么的资料，让他们的生活越来越顺利。感谢。